everybody! Welcome to the vlog and welcome to our homeschool area! I've been receiving a lot of messages from different moms asking me about homeschooling. Apparently, many of you were thrown off because, your kids were going to a regular school and then all of a sudden, you can't do that anymore because of quarantine, because of, lockdowns and all that. At the same time, I've got a lot of moms who have chosen the path of homeschooling even way before pandemic. Because the reality is, whether you've chosen homeschooling or not, of course, meron talagang mga rough days. And so this is very important. It's very important for us to know, why are we doing homeschooling? What are the benefits of homeschooling? Because when it gets hard, we need to remember our whys. And so, here are 7 reasons why I feel homeschooling is something that everybody can fall in love with, even when times get hard.
The Oregon Trail! What's outside? Bamboo is part of nature. It's like money.
Yeah. Yep. Number 1, the teacher-student ratio. Siyempre, siguro naman obvious, mas maganda naman yung 1:1 kesa sa 1:49. As much as magaling talaga yung teacher and all, mahirap talaga yung marami kang estudyante sa isang klase. Whereas, when you're homeschooling, and I'm not even saying na 1:1 lahat, kasi may mga iba na 5 yung anak nila, but still, 1:5 is lower than 1:42 or 49. Dati meron akong klase na 49 talaga kaming magkakaklase, di ba? The feedback is faster, konti lang kayo, mas nakikita mo saan ba nagde-develop yung anak ko, saan ba siya malakas, saan ba siya mahina, ano yung kailangan naming tutukan for this season, ibang mga kailangan ng bata na makikita mo right away kasi konti lang kayo sa klase. Number 2, a personalized education. Siyempre, when feedback is faster, changes can be made in a faster way as well. Malakas pala yung anak ko dito. So, we don't really need to spend too much time on this, say, subject or area of learning. At makikita nyo kaagad yan kung nag-homeschool kayo. I actually want to share with you guys this homeschool philosophies quiz. So, you're gonna see it on the screen right now, and I'm also gonna put it down at the description box para ma-take nyo ito. Kasi dun ko lang nalaman na marami palang iba-ibang paraan kung paano natin pwedeng turuan ang bata. And I say this because every child is different. So if we understand that about our children, we are able to customize or personalize the education that fits them the most. Charlotte Minsan, which is the method that we are using right now, and her method proposes that we give information to our children in narrative form. You also have heard of Montessori na rin siguro. This is one of the most famous methods that we have out there. Reggio Emilia, it says that, there are 100 ways that a child can express him or herself. There's also classical education, which believes in the classical texts that we have out there and the parang ancient philosophies that still work up until today. You've heard of probably Waldorf. We also have world schooling. We also have unschooling. Unschooling is completely doing without any curriculum. Medyo, di ba? Parang, wow, that's something new for us. But there are people who do it and they thrive. Ours is called eclectic. So eclectic is when you put things together. So I'm probably like 90% Charlotte Mason and then 10% or maybe even less Montessori because I do Montessori math. Take this test and see what fits your style, your character, and also your child's learning style. Kasi lahat yun, we have to incorporate that. How you are as an educator and how your student is as a learner. Number 3, a holistic education. You have the opportunity to educate your child not only in the academic ways, but also mental, emotional, spiritual. There was a time talaga na lahat ng tao nakafocus lang sa IQ. Nalaman ko na meron palang 8 signs of brain development. And I only learned this from EnfaGrow actually because I've done several talks with them. So if you look at the list, meron siyang things that would incorporate not only reading or writing or reciting, but it also pays attention to problem-solving skills, articulation, emotional and behavioral regulation. Di ba? Yung tayo nga kailangan pa rin nating matutunan yan as adults. Pag nagagalit tayo, ano bang gagawin natin? I-express ba natin? At kung i-express natin, paano natin i-express yun? And that's one thing that I love about homeschooling, because you can stop in the middle of your lessons to actually pay attention to something that you are feeling. Or maybe there's an issue coming up. Alam nyo kasi pag binibigyan nyo ng work yung bata, hindi lang naman lahat yan is a matter of finishing and passing your papers It's also an opportunity to take a look at your child and how they do when they're being given work. So, I'll give you an example. One time, after watching a documentary, nag-drawing kami ng eagle. Tapos, busit na busit siya. Parang talagang sobrang frustrated niya na, parang bakit ganito yung drawing ko? Bakit ang pangit ng drawing ko? And I kept asking him, what is it about your drawing that you don't like? Until lumabas yung inner feeling niya na, I don't feel good about my drawing because it's ugly. When I see yours, it's so nice. Ganda pa nung drawing ko. Naging artist pa ako bigla. And that's when I realized that his issue was he didn't want to be second best. You know, I mean, like, of course, the information is important. But what's more important for me, kasi aanhin ko naman yun, kung magaling siya mag-absorb ng information, magaling siya mag-memorize, but every time he sees somebody is better than him, it ruins him. That was kind of a long time of explaining and sitting down with him to really call through his feelings, but it was so worth it. And I was just so grateful na nasa homeschool setting kami because we can easily address that. I don't know if you guys have heard of that tagline, Raising Smart Kids with a Heart. Actually, it was Grow A+4 who came up with that. And if you watch the commercial, oh my gosh, maiiyak ka talaga. And it'll make you realize that, you know, we have focused too much in the past about, you know, raising smart kids. And that's well and good. But what we often forget is the heart is just as important. Na-memorize mo nga yung multiplication table or marami kang wide yung vocabulary mo. But you know, all of these information don't really do anything if your heart does not feel any empathy that could say na, you know, I have all the information in my power to actually change the world because I want the world to be a better place. I love my community. I love my family. I love I love what God has given me. And so because out of that love, I am going to do my part and use everything in my brain and in my smartness to actually execute something that will help the world. I hope that you realize that when you're homeschooling, it is so conducive to teaching them all about the heart. And the nice thing about homeschooling is that these things, yung mga part na hindi cognitive or academic, are so naturally and organically achieved at home. You get to introduce different values that are otherwise taught in books. Like in our home, we are gluten-free and preservative-free. It's hard to teach that through a book. And as he, again, experience is such a great teacher when it's very tactile, when he really gets to do it himself. Naiintindihan niya talaga na, okay, kaya ko to ginagawa kasi mabuti to para sa katawan ko. And one of the things na alam niya is when he makes his milk, this is one weapon na meron siya para sa coronavirus. And for Grow A+4 actually is a great supplement for us because it has MFGM, the milk fat globule, membrane. Na-memorize ko, pasado ko. That plus DHA says good brain development yung nakakos niya sa'yo. But aside from that, ang dami pang ingredients ito like beta-glucan, and then it has prebiotics also that really go deep into your gut. And I would advise the same for you guys na tutukan nyo rin yung immunity ng mga anak ninyo. Kasi all of us are so afraid of this virus and it's so understandable. Priceless ang peace sa mga panahong ito. So kung kaya nyo nang kunin yung mga things na pwedeng magbigay ng confidence sa'yo na, you know, I've done my part, di at least makaka-relax ka ng konti. Plus the fact that there are more days where they can be energetic, active, doing the activities that you really need them to do for homeschooling. So lahat yan are values that you can actually incorporate as you homeschool without really being too forceful, right? Number 4, Homeschooling does not only give you more time, but it allows you to allocate time all in the right places. Lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, you spend so many hours on the road. When I attended a homeschool conference, about 2 or 3 years ago, I listened to some homeschooled kids testify on stage, and they were saying that one of the benefits of homeschooling is that because they finished their lessons early, they didn't have to stay in like a school the whole day. They had more time to actually pursue their own interests. Because sometimes we get lost in the daily and we don't see bakit ko nga ba ito ginagawa ulit. And then, after a while, doon mo lang siya maiintindihan na ito nga pala yung isa sa mga biggest benefits ng homeschooling na marami kaming oras. Nasa Chesapeake Shores din, may nag-share sa akin na you need to be home for 1,000 hours to be there for the 15 minutes that matter. I would highly encourage you to take a look at this every time that homeschooling gets super duper hard na kung nilagay ko siya sa school, and there are good schools out there. But minsan naiisip ko na kung nasa school siya, yung teacher niya yung makakakita ng mga bagay na to. Whereas kung nasa bahay kami, ako yung nakaka-witness talaga kung gaano ka lovely a person my child is. Number 4! Number 5. Mali ako. Memory. Kailan ko na-end pag-group. Number 5, not only is homeschooling more affordable, but your resources can actually be allocated in a better way. So marami nagtatanong sa akin, pagkano raw ba mag-homeschool? Mas mura daw ba? Kung hindi naman talaga issue yung budget sa inyo, pag inisip ninyo, mas magaling lang yung pag-allocate nyo ng pera nyo. Kunwari, sa school, binigay mo lang siya as a whole. Sa'yo, pwede mo siyang i-allocate na ito yung para sa books niya, ito yung para sa materials niya, ito yung para sa homeschooling environment niya, tapos ito yung para sa field trip niya, di ba? Usually kasi lahat yan, di natin nakakita, yun pala yung cost ng schooling na meron tayo. But this time, you could do proportions that are more fit for your lifestyle, fit for the learning style of your child, and also what you feel like is yung ano ba yung mas kailangan namin in this season? So again, we go back to you can customize or personalize this education according to your budget, according to your season. And also, pag inisip nyo naman, dahil meron pa akong isang anak na i-homeschool, sulit na siya. So if you think about that, mas mura siya in the long run. So kung mas marami kayong anak, definitely, I would say that homeschooling is the more affordable option. Number 6. The world is your classroom. If you think about it, if you're homeschooling, you actually can school your children anywhere, anytime in the world.
The sun travels. The sun's not a vent. When I at night upon my pillow lie, still round the earth his way he takes, and morning after morning wakes.
So when we were traveling, when we got stranded in America for 6 months, nagsimula yung bagong school year. And nung una nagpapanik ako, na parang paano to, wala pa ako sa Pilipinas, nandun yung mga materials ko. And then eventually, I was able to collect and gather myself together, all of my thoughts together in one place. And I realized, hey, this is the beauty of homeschooling. I can actually do this anywhere, anytime in the world. Even the whole homeschooling year could actually end. But learning does not end if you think about the world as your classroom. Philip had his first quarter exams just recently. And when I asked him about everything that I read to him, yung mga binasa ko lang talaga from a book, may mga naalala siya, pero meron din siya mga hindi naalala na parang, okay, so hindi nag-stick sa kanya yung story na to o yung lesson na to. But when I asked him about everything that he learned in his travels, he was able to give me so much.
Obsidian is a stone that was once used for weapons. Crater Lake, that was so nice that it was formed by once a volcano. Rain and snow filled the crater, the empty crater, and so that's how it became Crater Lake. So you're basically swimming inside a dead volcano.
But more than that, his eyes were lighting up. So, nahawakan niya, na-experience niya. Di ba meron niyang sabi nila, experience is the best teacher. He also was introduced to the concept of being a ranger, a park ranger. And that love for environment was something na binibigay ko na yan sa kanya dati through books, through talks, through documentary. But it really sealed the deal for me na naka-encounter siya at nakakausap siya ng totoong park ranger. And then all I'm saying is that it's very important for us to love the earth, to love our environments, and to do your part in taking care of it. And there is no better way to teach that than to actually expose your child outside, to bring him to these field trips that you could take him on. So, he really has a first-hand experience of what it means to actually care for the world.
I'm now a junior ranger. I had my official badge. I like to see nature, like what's outside. Bamboo is part of nature. Trees over there. Flowers. There's flowers on the trees. What I don't like is people cutting down trees when it's deforesting a lot of trees.
Number 7, one of the best things about homeschooling is that you're gonna get the education that you've always wanted. When you're homeschooling your child, treat it as naka-enroll ka na rin. And I cannot describe it any better than the way that this blog, it's by classicallyhomeschoolingmom.com, so her name's Sarah. And I'm gonna put the link here. You start out homeschooling thinking that you're educating your children. Perhaps you're stressed about what you'll ever teach high school. But the first truth about homeschooling is that you educate yourself. You get to explore ancient Egypt and study the Roman emperors. I know your kids are also learning the information, but they'll forget much of it because they don't have the pegs to attach the information to. You won't. So treat it as that. This is a treat for yourself also. I know your kids are learning so much and they are so blessed to have you as, their educator, and to have you as a parent who has decided, I want to give the best to my children, and so I'm going to homeschool them. So for that, thank you, mommy, daddy, and your entire household for choosing this path. I know it's not easy. Not every day is a good day. I know that there are many challenges that you will still encounter along the way, but think about this. This is also a treat for yourselves. And so, that ends my 7 benefits, advantages, or whys to homeschooling. And I hope that, again, the whole heart of this vlog is to encourage you. Every time you feel like it's too hard, like yung sarili ko, sinasabi, ayoko na! Ipapasok ko na lang siya sa school! But, when I've calmed down and I'm put back into my senses, naiisip ko ulit kung bakit nga ba ito yung pinili ko na daan or paraan na matuto yung anak ko. And when I'm reminded of these reasons, and you probably have more on your list, I highly encourage you, make this as your assignment. What are my own whys? What are my own benefits for homeschooling? And always go back to that whenever times get hard. So thank you, moms and dads and children. Thank you for being as patient to your mommies and your daddies when they are homeschooling you. Your moms and your dads are not perfect, but I am so sure that they love you, and this is why they chose this for you. So thanks, guys. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe.